Hewitt, I'll be back on the question of the fiscal cliff, but I want to check in with Yoni, as in Yoni the blogger, as in former member of the Israeli Defense Service. Yoni, what do you see on Israeli TV today?
I see we're getting ready to go to war.
And why do you say that?
We've had over 300 rockets hit Israel since we talked yesterday. We have had over 140 stops where Iron Dome has shot missiles, rockets that were coming into population centers, because the system is so sophisticated, it can ascertain whether it's going to land in an empty field or land where there's people. We're looking at a 93% stoppage rate for the ones that have been coming toward the cities. Unfortunately, in the few that didn't get stopped, we've had 3 dead, and I think we're up to close to 100 wounded now. At one point in time on live TV, I watched 13 consecutive stops in less than a minute. It was
wow.
Cool.
So can you see like the contrails?
Fajar 5 rockets, which hit Tel Aviv today. Nobody was injured. 1 went into the sea and 2 landed in open areas. But that's a huge escalation on their part. You got to understand that these rockets, the Fajar 5s, the warhead is a 225-kilo warhead. So that's over a 500-pound bomb that they're dropping down on civilian locations. We've called up 30,000 reserve soldiers. I watched members of Knesset and members of the cabinet talking about entering Gaza and not leaving. We may be reoccupying Gaza for the foreseeable future. Tomorrow, Morsi is coming, the president of Egypt, to Gaza. I say if he's there and he gets killed, tough luck. We cannot let him stop what we're doing. We have to keep fighting back. And that's it. This is what the Arab Spring is going to give the world. Welcome to the start of World War III.
Now, it's the first time since the Brotherhood took over Egypt that Israel's been in a shooting war with them. I did not know that Morsi was going there tomorrow. Is that generally understood to be the case, or is that grapevine stuff?
No, that's generally understood to be the case, reported on Israeli news. That's not grapevine. He's coming to Gaza tomorrow to show solidarity with the Palestinians, along with all the rest of the Brotherhood that have said it's time for all Muslims to rise up and to kill, the apes, the Jews.
Well, I did read the New York Times story in which the official is the Ministry for Islamic Culture issued time to take revenge, and that's the Egyptian government. So it's not a surprise. Now, Yoni, when you say that you watch the intercepts, can you see the contrails going up, the Israeli Iron Dome missiles? How do you know that they're being intercepted?
Because you see the explosions in the sky. It's wonderful.
But do you see the interceptor missile going up, or you just see the little puffs of...
No, you see them both. You see, I actually saw rockets at a split screen at one point in time, rockets being fired up out of Gaza, our Iron Dome rockets being fired up, and then a boom, and that's the end of it. I have one of the coolest pictures I've ever seen that I put on my blog. It's a smoke circle, like somebody would blow if they were smoking a cigar. That is the result of one of our Iron Dome rockets taking out one of their rockets.
Now, if the tanks roll into Gaza, will they do it at nighttime or will they do it in the daytime?
Oh, we at night, I would assume, because the technology is on our side totally. We have night fighting technology, and they don't. I would do it at night. I would cut off all their electricity. I would cut off their water, cut off their phones, cut off their internet, cut off their cell phones, and then roll 30,000 Israeli soldiers in that. Look, 40% of our country right now, from my house south, because my house now, because of the inclusion in some of the new rockets that they brought, my house is now in rocket range. So my daughter and my son-in-law that are living there, they're there. Schools are closed. Nobody works in the southern 40% of Israel unless you are working in a job that is essential to security. The government has said you don't go to work tomorrow.
And so Cass led when that operation happened 3 years ago, I believe. How many troops were involved? Do you recall?
You know what? I do not remember. Yes. I got to be honest. I don't want to spout off and not give a correct figure.
So do you think this will be bigger?
30,000.
Do you think this will be bigger?
Look, I personally think that the time has come for us to declare the Palestinian Authority, the Oslo Peace Accords, the Hamas government in Gaza null and void, and take the steps that we need to take in order to ensure the security and the safety of the state of Israel.
But Yoni, that's a preference based upon the call-ups and based upon what you've seen. Do you think it's a major mobilization or is it a police action?
I don't. You know me and the people that are in power. I don't trust them. But on the other hand, for the first time in a long time, I've heard people that are not even close to being right-wing talk about the need for going back in and staying into Gaza.
All right.
In order to put an end to this. They're
keep
talking about not putting an end to it for a month, not putting an end to it for a little while. They're saying we need a decade of peace and quiet. You got to understand, over 1,000 rockets have hit Israel out of Gaza just this year.
But does that trigger a northern problem as well?
Nasrallah of Hezbollah today mouthed off, and he said that there's a potential that he'll join his Islamic brothers, and that's fine. You know what? If we need to fight a two-front war, that's fine. I think that the joke of the day is that Assad of Syria went on Syrian TV and complained that the Israelis are brutal.
Oh, that happened today? That has not yet been reported. I haven't seen that anywhere, so that's pretty amazing, too. Yoni, thanks for the update. Read YoniTheBlogger.com for the latest. Yoni sits there and takes what he sees on Hebrew language television and in Hebrew language newspapers and puts that up as best he can over at Yoni the Blogger. It's a great place to catch up on this. When we come back, we'll